logic and critical thinking. Quella unit 2, basic concepts of logic. And then video while in ka playlist dung logic and critical thinking. Ka video ne te chuo jok. Ki video ndaro chuo jok chukona ngaja no deductive kana inductive argument de ga ke form den. Quella video bang one den ki video pa yawa. Chukon gweja no chukon instance of deductive argumentative forms chukon which la video man ban gwejne instance of deductive argumentative forms kana further consideration kan ban gwejon in general, inductive arguments are such that the contents of the conclusion is in the same way intended to go beyond the contents of premise. La inductive argument go la go dorga la kon ya jegla cha dor cha bel ki cha dor nong la midid lo chit kata de weji to pya dong wan long ka ne ri chan de chu nyaw wa nyaw alamu iran Ethiopia yo de ran dor chu go ga alamu ye chan kana mana go mana go min cha ba long ko lar ga no ta na kano ne dia ka du no cho go na alamu ye chan la mane jen go ro de kon gwet inductive argument la go beyond la me che ben ga premise la da ba la we no vide. The premise of such argument typically deal with some subjects that is relatively familiar. The conclusion is then moves beyond these subjects that is less familiar or little to known about. Wala da to ga tangai ke ki ti ta lar ka premise dungno bangwak ba ko re bi ba gog din ba re. Such an arguments may take any of the several forms. Wa argument on daga ta ga form not a goal. Prediction about the future. Prediction about the future can argument from analogy, can inductive generalization, arguments from authority, argument based on science and a causal inference, to name a few. Can form the bengade. Then come we calculate. 1 minute our prediction. In a prediction, the premise deals with some known events in the past, or the conclusion moves beyond this event to some events in a relative future. La prediction mana la de ko temi chirana kon ngagno wal ko kwino moka kurale gennu me be benruno cheta de la Black Panther movie in Amidan ko cha jaga go along Black Panther be benono ba jaga go along wa michran conclude no one money a inductive argument alo brand me wal brand which Quran me be benyam Quran lat ki Quran predict cheta de la Black Panther cha jaga go along la me be ben ko no de chu Black Panther mona e be go along e de be go along la no money mu a inductive argument jadi deductive argument. So for example, one may argue that because certain clouds develop in the center of the highland, the rain will fall within 24 hours. Yeta daran laran way ko je parma di long jaben wi pam go daran chuwe ni ala badam ko kor ta ande jaro wi mo ando bendal. Nearly everyone realized that the future cannot be known with certainty. Anyog a Thok near one, not there long ago, Urun Teleram, Naja Kotara, Chizen, Ka Mukuji corner, Katoga Kelu, and Chicona del are deductive, die inductive argument. Thus, whenever an argument makes a prediction about the future, one is usually justified considering the argumentative, the argument inductive. Wa argument maladana mabe benurun ki mabe benwe wonyam wa no manimu wa inductive argument. An argument from analogy is an argument that depends on the existence of analogy or similarity between two things or state of affairs. La argument kana of analogy man argument me lana ta chad ngwakja ki mer lat ke ka chad ngwana because of existence of analogy, a certain condition that affects the better known things or situation is concluded to affect the less familiar things. Argument of analogy ko ti mi kon ngai ka dor bu kon lare mater ka don be che dabo argument melat ka chat. For instance, one may conclude, after observing the similarity of some features of computer A and computer B, that both are manufactured in territory, that both are easy to access, that computer A is fast in processing. It follows that computer B is also fast in processing. Yeta ramkel da time one to chat ka computer A and computer B da ka ngach da ngajen wo kandaro lat ka 2012 da ngajen wo kandaro tag lan dien long kada ngajen wo computer A pad long ka processing na rama da wo computer B bo be pad ka processing ku ti chat ka ran ma de load analogy ka wa argument mi chalel ka lat man ki mi nyu ne chat ngwana no mani wa yo inductive argument ko nyu the probability nyu the dong ko chitete ne chat dong bin mane be chat ma dong an argument inductive generalization. It is an argument that proceeds from knowledge of selected sample to some claim that the whole group ala argument to ala inductive generalization man argument me be ko ti kon ge jek ala tetiandi kon ge jegono bu kon guok do bu kon mun bu kon tungwan bu kon keleke sieta enu ta ni to job wel ki jaro enu ta ge jeglo dong ke ni de rang re gambel daran chularan we ji gambel ke ni de rang ji gambel dia ke ni rang wa argument melat ke kalan mo na wa chale inductive argument. Chirketa one may argue that because 3 out of 4 people is single, prisons are black, one may conclude that 3/4 of prison population are black. Cheta wadara laran we anu ka tijana dangwan la ka tijana dangwan no dera laran we ka tijana kalkel dera laro ka tijana kalkel no ne dok ka ne ngwan ka ne de cha dera dollar no tijana dial ku la 1/4 den la tijana muke kor dera laran no ni di jan baro yu di ka blank ne ka ni de la ni di jan baro yu di ka blank la ta chi ta mo no wa chwal wa argument la ran ka la mo ne wa yu inductive argument. Madong argument from authority. It is an argument in which the conclusion rests upon the statement made by some presumed authority or witness. For argument from authority argument me jeka ka ram ngai ngwa ki ram chi go kana ram dong chi do ne cheta a lawyer for instance may argue that the person is guilty because an eyewitness testifies to affect under oath. Yeta the lawyer da la ro ram ma yiti do ko chi ram chi nen chelar karam chi nen no charo de ya nyam kum ga la da la ro ram ni guilty la nyo de ka authority la mitira michi nen ka wangde. Or again, one may argue that all matters are made up of small particles called quarks because the university professor said so. Yeta dara lara no e matter ke lo lat ke kamu lat ke small particle cho quark ko chi professor man jela. La quella argument be ka ngai ngwane chi ram chi dor nen ram chi dor go. Wa me lara na we na mani ti ne ko chi ram ne lar nen wa na mani mu ko laran probability chira nda ngany medong ramalan na kai ki lat na Thok wana mani chwale inductive argumentation ki chira nda lar ke liu dai no mai ti no medong argument based on sign. It is an argument that proceeds from the knowledge of certain sign to the knowledge of a things or situation that the sign symbolize. Knowledge of sign mane knowledge me be ka ture dor ka la me be ka ture dor ka yet for instance one may infer that after observing no parking sign posted on the side of the road the area is not allowed to parking, but because the sign might be displaced or in error about the area of the forgotten, conclusion follows only probability. Jeta tiramger to build parking sign mala nyodo ichina chungwa mandong dane yora manda chuchara noye gwa mani china chungten wana mani argument no probability ko sign mani chirande la gwa mani china chungten ko sign mani dong la ditten kwaike wala la ditten ke diu wa ka argument me be sign ki me be turedo cheta ko ta do lel ko ta do li ta tor ka shintibit dol ka shintibit la deran la re no mani shintibit dol wan no bo inductive argument ko dong de do de la ni ten akai ke Woman, the mutual causal reference, it is an argument which proceeds from the knowledge of cause to the knowledge of an effect, or conversely, from the knowledge of effect to the knowledge of cause. La causal reference knowledge me je ka ma ko dor cause can effect ma tok dor can menong dor cheta tan chere tan egbe from the knowledge that the bottle of the water had been accidentally left in the freezer overnight, someone might conclude that it had frozen, cause to effect. Yeta ramkel da island da la di frika ka warkel la kana ga kelo. Iyo guru nang da chu char bang no do rata echete ke berdo. La cause in effect ko charan lagte fridge e bete ke berdo dong le ran char no. Kana man kuiran me dong da kara badol dong de fridge ni chira ndela ka Thok de kelo brand ke berado wana mani ngu inductive argument ki ku follow ke probability. Conversely, after tasting the piece of the chicken and finding it dry and tough, one might conclude that it had been overcooked. Yeta ramadong ba ka kor kameche chaman plak chemet ri mulak man plak ka kor ka chemet wa chador je la chador che kut ki cha bom long wara manda chu char ngoi dor dong cha wang match ki cause to effect to cause wan man ko follow the probability ko na man ko cha follow the probability ko cha follow the certainty the manle ko lari inductive argument ano jan to pai kon galaton can peg instance of inductive argumentative form government ban consideration ban ga gwit ki ti dong de kon ke gwit me right kon ke argument One should note that various subspecies of inductive argument listed here are not intended to be mutually exclusive. Overlaps can do occur. For example, one may casually inference that wa argument tango ne tiken mutually la kukarodian overlap. Kukarodian overlap. Madongba, one broad classification of argument not listed is scientific argument. Spiritual scientific argument te kanlat wa argument ton katila kwa occur ka science la dekene inductive ki dekene deductive depending on circumstance. La scientific argument dekene inductive ki donc dekene deductive no. Dung argument ku discovery theory do ku kan discover wa argument on chalke inductive argument. Dung scientific argument de kon kala deductive no ki de kon kala ke inductive. Dung mi argument me lele theory of nature no mane wa chal deductive argument. Wa argument dong ba argument on way laws of specific circumstance la makam ran what specific circumstance kara. Our argument of these sorts are often considered as deductive, but only with certain reservation. Our argument not dorba or the natural argument of deductive. Final point madong gorko de latgo the distinction between inductive and deductive arguments. Madong goro de lat makan mat kata kong ta dong de inductive kana deductive argument de kata. There is a tradition extending back in the time of Aristotle that holds the inductive arguments are those who proceed from the particular to the general, while deductive arguments are those who proceed from general to particular. What take me to grow no one get army to Aristotle and inductive argument to la rodian talk particular kuklo general. La talk and katitian book to well book on door kelo book and medit. Two deductive argument token ko go door token ko mat wan medit long book kule ben pin ka te dian le dong de pin mat door kon mon. In fact, there are deductive arguments that follow from general to the general. Wa do no matale ni chiangwa te argument tanken to general to general, and deductive argument proceed from the general to general, from the particular to particular, and from particular to general. Wa no manichi tong ni chiang ko te deductive argument tanken TGN ka particular to general, kana TGN ka general to particular. Chitkagwa deductive argument proceed from particular to general. Here our 3 is a prime number, 3 a prime number, 5 a prime number, 7 a prime number. Therefore, odd numbers between 2 and 8 are prime number. Manu to grow ka particular to general. Kana many a deductive argument. Here is inductive argument that proceed from general to particular. All emeralds previously found have been green, therefore the next emerald found to be green. To sum up the distinguish deductive argument from inductive, we look for special indicator word. Wameda kon inductive argument kana deductive argument. Become special one, become actual strings of inferential link, can I form of argumentation which con which what go become nda jan to video kan man dia te mo to shi ajek ten ba chalo da tes